What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trust Your Wits. It's Rocio here. It's 9 p.m. on February 28th, and I wanted to do a quick recap of the month. Just talk about how my month went and share some of the exciting things that I did and experiences that I had. Whew, I'm also a little bit tired, so I'm doing this at the very end of the day, but I also feel relaxed. I had a great month, and I feel amazing. I'm so thankful for life, and March Madness is about to start, so I'll start with that. So, for the last month in February, I made it a goal to hit 10,000 steps consistently every day, and I accomplished that. Some days were a little bit harder because it's just, especially weekends. I think if I don't really go out of my way to go on more walks or hikes or on a run, it's a little bit harder to walk more. When I go to work, it's a little bit easier because I am more active, right? You wake up, you go to work, you walk a little, and there's more walk involved. And you kind of just get in the flow of walking more to different areas, especially where I work at. And so I'm proud of myself. 10,000 plus steps every single day for the month of February. In January, for the most part, I did it, but it wasn't part of my plan to start off the year like that. But I've been tracking my steps every single day. And so the step count did inspire a new goal within some of my coworkers. So at work, I was sharing with my coworkers how I like to increase my step count and how my goal is to hit 10,000 steps. And so me and my coworker, we were talking about it, and she was like, oh, we should do a competition for March. And I was like, let's do it. So initially we only had 6 people, and we all agreed to use our health app in our phone as the data tracker. And so for for example, myself and a couple others, they have Apple Watches, so you could connect that to your Apple Watch, and it will track your steps, right? And for people who don't have it, they'll have to use their phone and make sure that they take it with them everywhere they go. And so we started with 6 people, and we all agreed, hey, we have to be transparent about our steps. So we went over how to get there, and then we all checked our average steps, and then that came up with all of this, oh, like, what? I didn't know I was averaging that many steps. And it was super cool to just kind of get the ball rolling and have my coworkers also be interested in their step count. And so we decided that we're all going to put $10. So at the beginning with 6 people, it was only going to be $60. Now at the end of February, I initially thought we were just going to keep it a little bit small, like the amount of people that we were going to have. However, now we got 15 people who are going to participate in March Madness. So that's whoever the winner is, they will take the $150 from $10 from every person. It equals to 150. So it's going to be so fun. We did have some rules set in place just so that it's fun for us. It's more of a way to encourage ourselves and others to just walk more and get our steps in. But for example, we made it a deal that, for example, you cannot give anyone your phone or your Apple Watch to make more steps for you, or I also brought up, I was like, hey, you guys better not put your phone taped up to your dog or your cat. So we came up with some rules, and then um, my coworker created an Excel sheet with all of our names, and then at the end of the month, we're all gonna input our step count for every single day of March, and then at the end, whoever has the most steps is gonna take the $150. And so we'll see. Some of my coworkers take the BART, or they commute and they have to walk or bike. So it's already part of their lifestyle. I think for me, since I drive to work every day and I drive back I drive back to my house every single day, from Monday to Friday, that's also something that I kept in mind, that I have to make up for that time that they already have in the morning and after the day, right? So for me, the real serious consistency in work starts after work. So I didn't really tell them my plan, but my plan is consistency. So the way I'm doing this is to essentially be consistent every single day, because I think for people who don't necessarily walk a lot, or they don't care about tracking their steps, so they average lower step count, it might be a little bit harder, right? But for me, I consciously always try to get a higher step count and like miles throughout my day. So I have to remind myself that I need to hit a certain amount of steps. And I chose to do 15,000 steps every single day. And just to start off, just to see how that feels. But I know that some of my coworkers are freaking maniacs, and they might do more than that. So I have to have a winner's mindset. I really want to win, so I think I'm gonna have to definitely do more than 15,000 steps. So I'm gonna go all in, especially on the weekends, since I have a full day. I could go on a hike. I could go on a walk later on. I have the whole day for myself. So I'm gonna try my best to make the most out of my weekends. Because for some people, weekends are actually some of the days that they average the less amount of steps, because they just want to relax. It's their weekend. They just want to stay in and chill. And I told myself too, I was like, oh, I can't just be like watching YouTube or Netflix or any shows. So I have to remind myself to just get those extra steps, because every step's gonna matter at the very end. And I'm excited because everybody's gonna put their steps on March 31st. I think we decided she wanted 9 p.m., but I was like, we should do 12 a.m., like 11:59 p.m. before April starts. So I'm so excited. And then of course we're also gonna check each other's. I don't know how we're gonna do that, because there's 15 people, so that means that we have to make time to see our steps, and our work schedules are slightly different, but we can make something work. But yeah, so my strategy is, one, consistency. So no matter what, there could not be a day where I do there cannot be a day that I have low steps. Absolutely not at all. And so consistency, 15,000 plus. That's something that I don't always do. So 15,000 plus, no ifs and buts. And if I want to win, I know I have to do a lot more than everybody else. So I'm kind of keeping track of that as well. Like, I have to think like, hey, I need to go all in for this whole month. So I might do some crazy hikes and do a crazy amount of steps. I'm not sure. Maybe 20,000 plus some days, just because I really want to win. And I think it's just going to be fun. It'll be a fun experience to see how many steps I could get in a month. And So strategy, 1, consistency, and then 2, I have to go all in. So I have to remind myself, I have to be disciplined to walk every single hour. I have to walk. So you think about it, if I walk 1,000 steps in 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 10 hours, that's already 10,000 steps. But that means that I have to walk even more than that. If I walk more during work, that's going to benefit me a lot. So I have to take advantage of that. What else? So consistency, and I have to definitely make it a priority to stand majority of the day. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I was basically saying like, hey, I might, because sometimes I read way before bed, and I was saying how I'm not gonna be able to read as much because I'm gonna have to be getting my steps in. I even contemplated to get a treadmill, but that's kind of doing the most. But who knows? I know one of my coworkers, I feel like she's gonna go all out, but we'll see. So what else? What could be the third strategy? So every hour I'm going to make it a priority to walk. I might sleep a little bit later to get in more steps. Because I normally sleep, I'm in bed like earlier. So I'm going to choose to not be in my room as early. I'm going to be walking around, just doing something where I can get my steps in. And then what else? Yeah, I'm just gonna have fun too. I really enjoy this. I'm so happy that that my coworkers also enjoyed this, and it's super cool that it all started with just a conversation with my coworker. I was sharing my steps, and I asked her for her steps, and then all of a sudden we have March Madness, and now we're gonna have a little friendly competition with everyone. 15 people. So that's going to be super fun. That's something that happened this month. And I actually track my steps with my Apple Watch. So every day I check my steps. If I don't hit 10,000 steps, I walk until I hit them. And then I also have a calendar that I actually have to update. I haven't updated it. I just write down the steps and the mileage that I did. And then, yeah, it's kind of cool to have it written down. But what else can I share? So, lately, I went a couple of days not reading as much because I was watching this guy on YouTube. He talked about how it's okay to consume information. So if you watch videos, or if you read, or if we're constantly intaking information, and we're consuming a lot of information. But he was essentially saying how there has to be a point where you start creating. Like, we are meant to be creators. That really stuck with me when I started Trust Your Wits, that I was just like, I need to build that skill set and that discipline of creating every single day. And there's so much I want to share with the world that could definitely help people. And so I started taking that very seriously, creating new content and sharing some of the things that I've learned and things that have helped me out. And so I've been super consistent across YouTube and Instagram, and also now TikTok. I decided to download TikTok because my sister said that it would be helpful. And it's super cool to think that was started last year from reading books. It inspired this new creation that now I call it Trust Your Wits, where I share mainly passages from the books I've read. And now I'm building a little community, you know. It's not a many followers, but people still get to see my content, and they get to intake what I've learned from philosophers, from authors, from people who have knowledge and a lot of experience to give to the world. It feels good to create. So that's part of the reason why I haven't read as much, but it feels right to create. And one of my favorite passages that some of the people that I've shared it with, they like it too. I've gotten some good feedback, some comments on YouTube, and I check the analytics just because I'm interested. But I did tell myself I am going to post every day, no matter what the results are. And I post regardless. If it doesn't get any views, I just leave it there. It's something that I enjoyed creating. So I'm trying different ways of posting. And sometimes I just post whenever the inspiration comes. Like, for example, yesterday was a rough day. I was really tired. I took a nap. And I didn't really feel like posting, but I still ended up posting something. And it ended up doing great. And I do check the analytics because I'm interested. Like, I wonder if people are as interested in the things that I'm interested in. So I'm interested just to see like what people are taking from the books that I read, or the quotes that I find really insightful. And yeah, it's been super fun just being in the moment, creating when that inspiration comes, and then just letting the world see it and perceive it in the way they want to, and then hopefully it could help them the same way it has helped me. I actually gifted The Power of Now to my mom a couple of years back, and she gave it back to me. She's like, "Oh, here's a book." So she gave it to me, and I bought her that same book, but in Spanish, and it's called El Poder de la Hora. And so I was like, this is a sign. I have to read this book again. So I'm reading it again. That's my current book right now. I'm going to take it a little bit slower. I've also thought about rereading some of my favorite books. I have a couple favorite books that I really enjoyed reading last year that I want to read again. I still want to build my library, but I don't have to force it. I don't have to... It doesn't have to be like a speed racing type of year for me, but I still have a goal. I said I was gonna... My goal is to read 60 books. I still think that's achievable, but I don't just want to go all out and go buy so many books. I could just read the ones I have, and then I also have some books that I haven't even read. If I were to check right now, I probably have like a solid 30 books that will be read this year. And I really reading this book, The Power of Now, El Poder de la Hora. I just want to get better at speaking Spanish too. I mean, I did grow up speaking Spanish, but I don't always talk to my parents as much as I used to when I was a kid. So I definitely need to practice more. And it's interesting that you intake information in a different way. I think reading in Spanish and English, it makes you think more, and you also just form different vocabulary words that in Spanish, of course. So I'm gonna have fun with this one and really intake the information once again. And I love philosophy. I love reading, and there is nothing more powerful than just focusing on the now, the interactions that you have with the people who are around you. Every moment that happens, in your life, it was meant to happen in that moment. And I think sometimes we tend to forget when we live life and we're busy with work or we're busy trying to achieve certain goals. But this book, after I read it the first time, it really centered me to focus on the now. And if you think about it, I feel like I am the happiest when I don't overthink and I'm just focusing on the now and I'm just living my life. So that's something that I practice daily, to remember to focus on the now. And probably the last thing I want to share is I've been doing more breathing exercises. It's just throughout the day. Sometimes when I go to work, I make my coffee, my black coffee in the morning. I get in my car, I warm it up because it's super cold. So it's one of the best feelings, having your car warm when it's super cold outside. And sometimes I don't want to listen to music. I don't want to listen to anyone. So I just, no music, just silence. I'm just driving my car, and then I just practice some breathing, and I've noticed that it does relax me. And that's something that I want to keep doing because it just brings peace back to life and to myself and to my nervous system. And that's something that I would encourage everyone. Just take some time for yourself. Focus on doing absolutely nothing. You could just breathe. Intentional breathing. And just let out all of that tension from the day. Anything that caused you to just be super active and made your brain just move at a faster pace. You just slow down for a moment. So, yeah. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been 24 minutes. That kind of went by super fast. But we just covered March Madness, Walkathon. That's going to be super exciting. I'll definitely talk about it again. And then 2, I basically went over my strategy. I'm going to remain consistent. I am in it to win it. I definitely want to win. I'm not going to say too much to my coworkers. I'm just going to say nothing, really. I'm just going to say I'm getting my steps in. Just know that. But I don't really want to say too much until the very end, because I know some of them are going to take it very seriously as well. And then the last thing I talked about is with all the information that I'm consuming, I just want to be able to create more. And I'm super proud of myself and for following through with posting every single day. Regardless of the analytics, I'm truly enjoying this. This is one of my goals for this year, is to create that podcast and post weekly, but also I didn't even think about shorts or YouTube shorts and like Instagram reels, but now that's something that motivates me to just create every single day. And you know what? Maybe some people will never see it, but it's about spreading that knowledge to people, and it's just a creative act that I enjoy doing. So I'm going to continue doing it. I post it because I enjoy creating, and the rest is just, I hope that it works out, and if it doesn't, it's something that I'm still going to continue doing. People who are seeing it, thank you. I appreciate it. And if this is for me, I know God has a plan, and I'm just going to continue doing my thing and keep spreading the knowledge that I've learned from books and philosophers and the scripture and God, and I'm just so thankful. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to this. I didn't want to show my face because I'm tired, and it's okay to just hear a voice. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.